Stan Lee's LA Comic-Con is about to hit downtown Los Angeles next weekend. It's one of the largest fan conventions on the West Coast. We are going to take you there. Also, what news did we get from New York Comic-Con on the other coast? Bernie's going to help us figure that out tonight. Also, one more thing. Why are so many fans attacking each other? Can't we just all get along? Tonight on the Con Guy Show.
Yes, we can.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's The Con Guy Comic-Con Prep Show.
All right, let's just absorb it just for just a second.
New theme music. I like it.
Love it. If you don't recognize it,
Come from the land of the ice and
that's
snow.
Led Zeppelin. Welcome to the Con Guy Show tonight. I am Jim. We're having a little concert here, which is so appropriate since we have somebody who's promoting some concerts here lately. So my name is Jim. I am the managing editor here at theconguy.com. You can find me at Con Guy Jim. You can also find me here on the Con Guy Show. Hopefully you will subscribe. We're coming at you a couple of times a month. This week it's all about Stan Lee's LA Comic-Con. Like we said, we're going to talk about a little bit about New York Comic-Con and then toxic fandom. So anyways, we've got a lot of exciting things to go over tonight. Anyways, we have a full house. This is kind of like the all-star night. We are completely full. It's going to be a party tonight. So everybody, tell me who we have tonight.
Hi, I'm Derek. I'm a contributing writer to theconguy.com and a regular co-host here on the Con Guy Comic-Con Prep Show. You can find me on Twitter at ConGuyDerek.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Carrie Lane. You can find me online at Carrie D Lane. That's Karidlane. And I am a host here at Popcorn Talk and AfterBuzz, as well as many other things.
Many, many, many things.
What's up? I'm Ben Kliewer at Ben Kliewer on all social media. That's BenKliewer. It's really weird, but I'm an actor, comedian, writer, and you can find me pushing family quality vehicles on your television sets.
I have a sudden urge to get a Chrysler.
Oh, well, yeah, you know, most people do.
And on the couch.
I'm Brianna. You can find me on Instagram at tinker_Brie with one E, and I like to dress up and stuff sometimes.
Yeah?
I am Bernie Bregman, a.k.a. the Geek Gatsby, producer of live show events, nightlife director at Stan Lee's Los Angeles Comic-Con, and creator of Club Comic-Con, the ultimate nerd nightlife experience. You can find me on social media at the Geek Gatsby and at Nerds Like Us.
And we're going to hear all about Club Comic-Con tonight.
Oh, yes, you will.
All right.
And I'm Thom Parham. You can find me at TomDaveLA, ThomDaveLA.
Tom, thank you so much for coming tonight. We have a picture that I would love to show of Tom if we have it. And it's my fault. I just gave them the picture just last second, so I'm a bad planner. But anyways, the reason that
I forgive you.
Tom has this very cool cosplay group, and here we have the picture right here. Tom, can you tell us what we're looking at right here?
I was young and needed the money. Just kidding. No, I put together groups for hospital visits, and I'm on the board of Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation's California chapter. So Captain America is my student Nate. Superman is my good friend Will Sterling. Fiona is the daughter of a dear friend of mine, Rick Bond. That's me. And Luke Cheeseman, what's he doing there and not in the studio, the bum?
Luke Cheeseman is going to bed.
Luke Cheeseman as Star-Lord.
This was a really cool event, although I had the hardest time finding this the other day. But you guys, it was raising money for what were you
Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation.
And you do a lot of these types of events, right?
I'm on the board of Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation California chapter, and I have a relationship with City of Hope Hospital, and then done events at Shriners downtown LA, as well as Chalk has a Christmas thing in December. So.
I just think this is one of the coolest things because not only are you geeking out, but you're doing it for a good cause, which is a really
And I
good thing.
bring my students with me. Yeah. Coolest prof ever.
I know. The last time I saw you was on, when you did this was on Free Comic Book Day.
Yes.
And you have like arrangement with some of the comic book stores as well.
Yeah, Earth 2 Comics is my comic shop.
That's a good one.
Shout out to Carr and Susan. Woo!
They're good folks over there. Good folks
Great
over
folks.
there. And by the way, I just want to say thank you, Bernie, for hosting an incredible event this past Friday night. I showed up at midnight to with the craziest bunch of people, and we saw Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th of October 2017.
When I booked that, I could not believe I was because I checked. LA has a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of midnight series. I wasn't the first. I got my inspiration from the New Art Theater, and there's all sorts of them. And I check everyone's calendar, and I'm like, nobody sees Friday the 13th in October, like. Am I really? So I booked that like 2 months out, and I even said on Facebook, I'm like, I guess I'm the only one that saw the opportunity for Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th, and then it turns out there was a film festival in San Pedro. They did it, and then the Chinese theater, God bless their hearts, they advertised the original Friday the 13th, but what they were actually showing was part 3, the 3D one. Yeah, a little miscommunication between their website and their ticketing site. But anyway, we showed the original. We also had a special message from the very first Jason Voorhees, Ari Lehman, who has a band touring Europe right now called First Jason. And that dude, milking that. He's so funny, though. He looks like he should have been in Spinal Tap.
Nice.
And he plays a keytar, which I respect in and of itself, because keytars are rad. But he plays a keytar that's a machete. Like right up in the, and it's got the handle of the machete, and then it's got the blade coming out the end, and it's killer.
Oh man,
that's brilliant.
Right? It is, right? It's
killer.
That was the video that he did right before. That was a pretty intense video. I tell you what.
There was a whole lot of Jason. He is just
killing people like crazy.
Killing that note.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a whole lot of fun, and everybody seemed to have a great time. I love the series. That's how I got to know you, was through the series, the Nerds Like Us video screenings that you have up there at the Vista, and then I found out about all the other things you're doing. So
fun stuff, man.
We are going to jump into that very soon, but first, Derek, if you can take us to the bulletin board of what's happening.
The bulletin board. So there are, of course, as always, a number of conventions coming up in the next few weeks. In Grand Rapids, Michigan, there is Grand Rapids Comic-Con, October 20th through 22nd, and then in Marlboro. Wait, is that Marlboro, Maryland?
Yes.
Okay.
No, Massachusetts.
Because I know there's a Marlboro, Maryland, but this is Massachusetts, right? I want to make sure we're saying the right thing.
I gotta look that one up.
I know the state.
Is it MA? Is that Maryland?
MA should be Massachusetts.
Okay.
Am I right?
MD's Maryland.
MD would
MD's
be
Maryland.
But I'm pretty sure it's Marlboro.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a typo before I said it. All right.
not.
So we'll say Massachusetts. The Super Mega Fest Comic Con, October 21st through 22nd. And then, of course, here in LA, Stan Lee's LA Comic Con, October 27th through 29th. Fantastic Con is coming up in Fort Wayne, Indiana on October 28th through 29th. And then Fantastic Con in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, in November 11th through 12th. And North Carolina Comic Con is November 10th through 11th in Durham, North Carolina.
I love these super descriptive con names.
Yes.
Super Mega Fest! Fantastic Con.
Yeah, well, when you can come up with your own name for something, it's great to call it Super Mega Awesome.
I know.
Whatever.
Over on the other show, which we do, The Scare Guy, which will be back 1 week from tonight. The names of the conventions are even more descriptive.
Those are even more so, yeah. You're just like
you have Spooky Empire, but you have things like Necromonicon. I'm like, what?
that one's a good name.
That's a great name.
No, Necrocomicon.
Necrocomic-Con, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to start a con, and I want to put all of those super descriptors together and run it on as super mega
fantastic, huge.
Yes.
Well, how about
Googleplex.
World's Okayest Con?
The what?
World's Okayest Con.
I think as a newlywed, this is what we're going to start calling our date nights.
What's
Like
that?
super awesome, mega fantastic date night.
Hey guys, I got my badges to Meh-Con.
I would go to that.
Wouldn't you? We're going to start it.
I would, and it would be a lot of really calm fans,
Yeah.
and we would get along. 'cause we'd all
Mediocre
be like,
Comic Con.
Mediocre.
that was fun.
Hold
I've
on,
always thought Dragon Con should be
what
called
state's abbreviation is
Drunk
ME? That's where you need to throw that.
There
Oh,
you go.
Yes.
that's Maine, right?
Maine.
Mecon.
Mecon. Well, that's Mecon. What's ME?
All right, I'm good.
you,
Luke
Ricky.
Cheeseman is sending a message. He goes, "Nice mug, Ben."
Ah, yes.
Luke is watching.
He is watching. He's about to go to bed. He goes, "Star-Lord needs his sleep. Good night. The show is running in a full house." And he goes, his family just saw Wonder Woman for the first time tonight. So,
Oh, wow.
I wonder,
So
I wonder if Luke is
good.
hearing my phone go off every time he texts because it has a really long Star Wars clip playing every time.
But
Should mute it from
you must go
mute
to
him.
the Dagobah.
speaking of Ben, you went to the most incredible. I don't know. convention recently.
Well, it's more of a festival. Yeah. So
we will put these photos up, and
I'll make sure you get them. Sorry, that was my fault. I didn't bring them in time. But yeah, I recently went out to a festival in the Mojave Desert outside of California City called Wasteland Weekend. It has been running for, I think, close to a decade now. Maybe more. I'm not 100% sure. But it's basically a big festival out in the desert. People call it Burning Man for nerds. They call it a lot of different things. But basically, it's a festival where a bunch of people go out and pretend like it's the post-apocalypse. Mainly Mad Max.
It looks like Mad Max.
Yeah,
is what
it's
it looks
mainly
like.
Mad Max themed, but they've thrown in a lot of Fallout and other post-apocalyptic.
Really, I thought they
kinda-
hated Fallout.
Not entirely. It was just the one tribe we were a part of
that's
at
Fallout
the time.
Boy.
Is there a Thunderdome?
There is a Thunderdome.
We don't need
Where they
another
sacrifice people who like
hero.
Fallout.
No, they actually do have a Thunderdome. You have to sign up and sign a waiver, but you are suspended from giant bungee cords, and they give you big Nerf bats, and they just shove you in there. And you're suspended so that your feet kind of barely touch the ground, and they shove you in there, and you just beat the living tar out of your best friend. Usually,
We keep kicking around if we should do the Thunderdome next year.
I bet that'd be so cathartic too.
right?
Probably would.
So our friends and Bernie's friends with these guys too. Thor and Kyle did the Thunderdome, and they've been friends for a long time.
You have a friend named Thor.
We have a
Yes.
friend named Thor, and he is from Norway.
Yes.
I know a Thor
course he
from
is.
Norway.
Actual Viking Thor.
And they went to town on each other, just beating each other. And they got out, and Kyle was just like, "That's 3.5 years of frustrations from our friendship that I just got out all in one bout." He's like, "I'm okay for another 3 years now."
Guys do that though.
Right, exactly.
Me and Luke Cheeseman, we got in a fist fight. We are best friends ever since because
There you
of
go.
that. I mean, it's
Well,
the
you
way
and
you
Cheese-
fix things.
You and Cheese got in a fist fight.
There's a little alcohol involved, but
And by a little, he means a lot.
Yeah.
But there's a stage with performers and DJs and bands playing every night. There's a casino called the Last Chance Casino that they issue bottle caps, and that's what you gamble with. And you have to impress them in order to receive bottle caps. There's bounty hunting. There's a war going on between the New California Republic, the Northern Rebellion, the Texas, I can't remember what they are, but there's like 5 or 6 different factions that are at war, and you basically sign up for one of these sides, and you can go out and you have to go out and kill people from the other factions, and you have little badges with color-coded logos on them. And basically fighting and killing somebody is Rochambeau, or rock, paper, scissors, or some other game that you can come up with, a very simple game with a very clear winner. And then if you win, you get one of their little tokens that they have. And at the end of the weekend, they count up how many tokens they have and declare a winner of the war. There's so much to get involved with, along with seeing everybody's costumes, everybody's...
how long is the festival?
It's, this year it went from Wednesday afternoon to Sunday morning.
Are you camping out?
You're camping out, just like at Burning
Like
Man or
with no
something like that.
showers and just...
No showers, porta potties. There are porta potties that they bring out there for you. But other than that, you got to bring everything else yourself.
And costumes are mandatory.
Costumes are
Oh, good.
mandatory, and people build cars. They build their own versions of cars, but they've also built replicas of the cars from the Mad Max series. And there's War Boys, the bald guys with the white paint, and women. There's War Girls too, and
Lots of Furiosas, I presume.
lots of Furiosas.
Where were you?
I was a being of my own creation, post-apocalyptic version of myself called the Dutchman.
We will have his picture on the website very,
will,
very soon.
along with my wanted poster from the bounty hunting, which is similar to the war. You just get a wanted poster of somebody, and you have to wander around and find this person, and then again Rochambeau with them, and then when you kill them, they give you a rubber finger when you sign up for it. So if you get killed and somebody comes to collect your bounty and they kill you, you give them your rubber finger, and they have to take it back to the bounty hunting place. And
I love that.
it's a lot of fun.
Very intricate. I
Yeah.
like it.
They've been doing this for quite a few years now, so they've got a lot of it down to a science. We also had a horrible thing happen. Somebody's RV caught on fire and burnt to the ground.
Seriously?
On the first day. But I guess, and here's the caliber of people that go to Wasteland Weekend. While the fire was still burning, a post went up on the Facebook page of Wasteland Weekend that said, "We've already started a collection for these people."
That's awesome.
And we've already raised however
Love it.
much.
Love
this
that.
is while it's still on fire.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's just they're great, kind-hearted people. if somebody flips you off, it's a friendly greeting.
As well it should be.
Right. And it's profane and profound and
All right.
really cool and fun.
I'm going
Prolific
next year.
would have worked too.
Well, prolific. Yes, exactly.
So, I can't wait to see the pictures of that. I want to see more about that. Carrie, you started. I just want to hear a little bit. I'm just super curious, just out of my own curiosity. The horror movie show. Did you guys do one this year? I mean, this week.
The horror movie news?
Horror movie news.
Yes. Well, we've had 2. We've had 2 episodes now. I'm like, wait, how many? 2. I'll have another one tomorrow. It's a show where we just talk about horror movies and horror movie news. So talk about trailers coming out, talk about what movies we've seen. We're lining up a guest for tomorrow. Hopefully it's a phone call as long as that all goes well. And then we're going to be doing giveaways tomorrow. I got some cool cutout thing from Tokyo Ghoul premiere. And then eventually I'm also going to have some really cool themed nail wraps from Espionage Cosmetics. They have they're so cool. There's this one pair. I'm sorry, I kept one for
Bernie's
myself.
excited about those.
There's like a Frankenstein and a Dracula one, and they have like passages from the book as the nail wrap. Right? And then there's one that I think I only ordered one, so I might steal it. But it's like a chain link fence with zombies behind it. So this is what they can look like, but these aren't just colors. But these are demigod glory.
Oh, there you go.
You know. But yeah, it's a really fun horror show, and we're all really into horror movies. We've also started a thing on it called The Crypt, where we're all referencing one horror movie that most people have not heard of, and kind of giving a recommendation in terms of, like, you haven't heard of this, you should go see it.
What was your crypt from last week?
Mine was Pontypool.
Pontypool. Yeah.
The room nods of, I don't know
Have
that
you guys heard
one.
of Pontypool?
I haven't, but have you guys? Has anyone
I've
brought
heard
up
of
Subspecies, the Bloodstone series?
Well, we just started with Crypt, so we've only had 3. So
Well, there's my little nod for you, little vampire
Nice.
lore there.
Well, Bernie.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit. Bernie Bregman, right in the middle of the couch right here. All right, Bernie, let's talk about New York Comic Con. Did anyone else go to New York Comic Con this year?
No.
I did not.
I wish.
I know. I wish I did. Bernie, you sounded like you had an incredibly busy week this
I
year.
did. I was actually working New York Comic Con. So I was brought out there to work for MGM and do some Facebook Live for Stargate.
Nice.
And Stargate's one of my favorite fandoms, so it is so freaking cool to be working for them now. Like, I've watched all 10 seasons of SG-1 3 times through.
Oh, wow.
Along with Atlantis and Universe. Aren't
Aren't they bringing back at Stargate?
Stargate Origins is
Yes.
coming out. I'm trying to remember what is public knowledge and what I know.
Did they just cast somebody for it?
They're starting production actually, and I'll just leave it. There's Stargate Origins is happening, so there's going to be some more Stargate content, and then if that goes well, they have other content that they would like to bring to the table. So if you're a Stargate fan, support Stargate Origins, and you'll be getting some more unlocked in that universe.
So how was New York Comic Con this year?
So New York, if you've been to, my best way to describe New York Comic Con is it's like they do their best to be a carbon copy of San Diego, but they don't get the studios and some of the glitz and glamour, and then they have amazing artists. So the art that they get there is sometimes almost better, but in terms of some of the vendors and stuff, it can feel a little bit like the swap meet version of San Diego Comic Con. But although they only have one tower of T-shirts, they don't have 3 of them.
Well, then where's my selection?
Right? Of the same thing?
Of
in
the
3
exact
places?
same thing in several different
They
places.
did have that big ass dragon though.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I saw that,
was
yeah.
there.
Wendy
and,
Williams was up on the dragon.
and then and then Funko did their
That's all
thing.
I'm good for.
And then Marvel has their big presence there, but they're based there.
Yeah.
You get a lot of Marvel artists that you don't get traveling to San Diego that do only the New York show. So there's definitely a lot of cool things there. But all the different activations outside of San Diego and stuff like that, you get none of that in New York. There were some little things. There was a great Buffy gifting suite, and I couldn't decide what I wanted to bring back as gifts for friends for people. And you could pick 3 free items. So I got this beautiful Buffy diary thing, and a Sunnydale Slayers Club T-shirt, and then a pop vinyl Buffy. So I'll give those to people at some point. And then there was a Bob's Burgers activation that was pretty cool.
I remember last year or the year before, Adult Swim they took a cruise around the city with all their shows on there, and then one year they had
Magicians did a thing with the cruise.
in Madison Square Garden. Don't they usually
This
have
year.
a big event in there?
There wasn't one in MSG, but there was a really cool activation along the wharf behind the Javits Center, and it was Audible activating a new sci-fi book called Artemis, and Rosario Dawson was there.
Oh, nice.
She's the person reading the book for Audible. They also had Neil deGrasse Tyson and Hardwick was there.
The Artemis Fowl book?
No. Oh God, I wish. I
Okay.
freaking love the Artemis Fowl
like,
series.
wait, what?
No.
Okay,
They
never
have
mind.
got to do that while God, what's his name? Vinny. What's his name? The British actor Vinny from Smoking Aces.
Yeah.
Vinny Jones. Yes.
Yeah.
They've got to do that while he's still young enough to play Butler. Artemis,
there you go.
right? Artemis Fowl,
Yeah.
Vinny Jones. Anyway,
Vinny Jones.
Didn't Sci-Fi have like a special area? I saw photos.
Sci-Fi does. They do activations. Cartoon Network and Comedy Central will do activations out there. They actually usually take over the outside, like right at there's like this big walkway. So it's definitely a great big fun con. It's the second biggest con besides San Diego.
Well, they claim that they are the largest.
Okay, I can dispel how deceptive that is.
It's
So-
cheating. I think so too.
It's totally cheating.
Yeah.
For starters, they're talking about the actual capacities of the convention center, which isn't the actual number of people that go. Their guest list is much smaller, and that doesn't count against the cap. But you also have to account in San Diego for all the ancillary events that happen. And where San Diego Comic-Con is quote unquote like 144,000 or 142,000 people, and then New York's 144 because of the Javits capacity. Although they actually closed the wing that used to be Artist Alley.
They're
so it's
claiming
less now.
160 to 170.
Yeah, it's not.
But it's also the way they count.
You can also actually walk through the aisles in Javits Center, and you can't in San Diego.
Yeah,
so, but
You swim through.
500,000 people visit San Diego that week.
What's
500,000 people do not visit New York that week.
Well, can you, Tom? Can you explain the
My
counting?
understanding of the way that New York cheats is they count the single day tickets as separate.
Yep.
And then and then add them to the 4-day tickets or whatever, how many other days they do. Whereas San Diego does the capacity at the convention center for
Right.
total.
If you go for all 4 days and you have a ticket for all 4 days to San Diego, that's one person.
Want to break some kamikaze news? That's the CEO right there.
Ooh.
What?
Depends. Are you allowed?
You should
to?
just
Are you allowed?
answer the
Can
phone
you-
and be
can
like,
you
"Hi,
say
I'm live on the air."
Here-
Give us a scoop!
Wait, what is so great about having Bernie here is like he's been sitting out there saying, "Oh, can I reveal this? And he's getting all this big news about like LA Comic Con here, Stanley's
Oh
LA
my
Comic
God.
Con." He's
I
like, "I
can't.
can't talk about it."
It's a direct line.
I do have a big announcement about LA Comic Con. I will be there.
Wait, Bree, are you
That's
thinking
a
about
clever
it?
Cleaver.
I mean, I'm thinking about
It's
it.
it's a rumor. Technically, it's a rumor right now. Can we say anything about it, babe?
I mean,
if you're coming or not? Or-
we need some incentive.
Wait. I think Bernie might give them an incentive.
I can't talk about some of it. Well, I can talk about some of the things.
Wait,
Well, let's do
let's
New
finish
York.
with New York first. Well, there were a number
Great
of
guest list, by the way. Great, like celebrity photo ops and stuff like that. It was a really, really fun list of celebs that were there. It was very cool. And then, like, they had a lot of great Trek, and Mark Hamill was there and stuff like
Mark.
that. So
What
that
was
fun.
he there for?
He was just doing, celebrity signing autographs.
Well, they did
Beat Mark Hamill, man.
I know,
Their
Mark-
ass. Jeez.
He's not
what
in
was
anything.
Mark Hamill there
company.
for?
He's working on this little indie
He's in
sci-fi
Sushi
project.
Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
think
No, he is.
Oh wait, what are you talking about?
Mark Hamill's in the movie called Sushi Girl.
I don't know anything about that.
It's like a bank heist gone wrong
I
movie.
thought she was joking.
No, it's a real movie.
That's awesome.
And it's like the first time I saw him after he like got really heavy, and then you're like, who is that?
oh yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah, that's happened to me several
It's a
times. with
really
Mark
good
Hamill.
movie,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
He pops up and stuff every now and then, and you don't realize it's him right
But
away.
there
because-
were a number of
because he's an
announcements that
amazing
were
actor.
coming out. Like for example,
The Rock.
The Rock. What
Yes.
about The Rock?
The Rock's going to be at LA Comic Con.
Oh no.
Oh,
New York.
Yes, yes.
We're almost to LA, almost. So, out of New York Comic Con, The Walking Dead announced they were doing a crossover with Fear the Walking Dead. For those of you who are fans, which is interesting. I bet you they're going to build it way up, and it's going to be something like, I don't know.
One of the characters just goes, "Hey guys," in the background, and then that's over.
Which is interesting because they take place in 2 different time periods.
Yes, and on 2 different sides of the country. I was wondering about that.
I call the second series F The Walking Dead. For
Amazon unveiled its new anthology series Lore, Which have you guys heard about Lore?
Yes.
Wait,
Well,
I've been
I-
wanting to check that out. Is it good? Is it good?
I
Tell
used
me
to
all
listen to the
things.
podcast. Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
still
based-
listen
it's
to the
based
podcast.
on the podcast.
It's based on the
Yeah,
podcast.
it's the same guy.
Which I haven't heard, but I've heard is amazing.
The podcast's amazing.
It just came
There
out
you
this
go.
past
You heard it,
Friday,
that's
on
what I
Friday
heard.
the 13th. I know that one of the stories they have is about Robert the Hunted Doll from Key West, which I saw
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, I listened to that podcast episode, but it's like the dude, I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. But the dude who does it has like this really chill NPR voice.
Wait.
I think it's like Andrew Mankey or something like that.
Andrew
Yeah,
Mankey?
that sounds about right. Andrew Mankey.
Andrew voice in my ear.
I'm gonna have some stuff that I think I'm writing about that because I was sent PR info.
Oh, yeah?
But I haven't wrote about it yet because I sent questions. So I'm like waiting for.
Oh,
answers and
fantastic.
then put
But
it- yeah.
he's got this very
I'll link
calming
you.
Yes,
kind
please do.
of this very calming kind of NPR voice where he tells the story of, and one of the most fascinating ones is he talks about the sightings of gremlins on airplanes in World War II. And just like he explores all the actual accounts that people have given of like witnessing these things, and so he explores both like any kind of evidence as well as expounds on the legend of whatever he's talking about.
Cool.
And just kind of blends it all together in this great story that just sounds like you're sitting in the living room on a Sunday afternoon and your calm uncle is telling you this, and you're just riveted and you can't stop listening to it. So it's
Sorry, his name is Aaron Mankey.
Aaron Mankey. There we go.
Evan.
Evan?
Aaron.
Aaron.
Aaron Mankey.
Aaron.
I can't hear.
That's
Aaron.
right there. Oh, there it
It's
is.
there on that screen. Yes.
I'm deaf in both ears.
And I can't see.
Thank you,
So
Anthony.
we also got the trailer for Pacific Rim with John.
Yeah.
featuring John-
Uprising with my little doppelganger.
Looked so
Oh,
good.
The first time I ever saw the trailer for The Force Awakens, I was like, Tom's in the movie when John Boyega jumped up.
If I had $1 for every time people said, "Are you in the new Star?" I think I would remember filming that.
Did they release the Justice League trailer during Comic-Con? Okay. And we have a big sigh of, all right, let's see what
Yeah, I
we can
know
do.
Tom
The
doesn't
only
like
thing
the
they've
trailer
gotten
every
right
time,
is frickin' Wonder Woman.
Yep. Yep.
They're
I
not
tell
She's
you.
learning.
awesome!
She's
Yeah, well,
amazing.
Zack
Cyborg
Snyder
looks cool.
didn't direct Wonder Woman, and I think that helped.
But Joss Whedon came along and salvaged a little bit of this one.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Evidently not enough.
Here's open.
Also, let me see. Stephen King's Castle Rock was teased, which is on Hulu, which looks kind of cool. And then the interesting news is they canceled the Punisher panel during New York Comic, which I think was a good decision.
After
Absolutely.
Vegas, they had to.
Absolutely.
It's a super violent, gun-violent show that's
I
going
wouldn't be
And
surprised.
they pushed back the release date.
They don't know when it's being released
Right.
yet. It was
They
supposed to
will,
already be out.
But it's going to be a while.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
That's fully understandable.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird because there's a movie coming out, Death Wish, with Bruce Willis that you're like,
Is that a remake of the Charles Bronson
It
franchise?
Yes.
Cool.
but the
Better
whole
have that
trailer
Weldy
is
Magnum.
it's safer for you to have a gun because then you can get the bad guy, and you're like, oh, this is really weird timing now because they've previewed it for a long time.
And and no matter what side of whatever the debate is that you find, it is just kind of an uncomfortable time to be featuring such extreme
I gotta say, like that movie was tone deaf before, and like now it's so bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to read the room, really.
Let's go back to capes and superpowers. Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, and one thing I do want to say, and then we'll get off of New York Comic Con. For me, one of the most exciting things to watch was X-Files dropped their new trailer.
Yeah.
That was a cool trailer.
I am the biggest
looking
X-Files.
forward to
Can we? Do you have that? If we can watch that trailer, and we'll just kind of talk through it here a little bit and see what we saw.
I've been there.
All right. So this is. Okay. Now,
Oh, yeah, you got the
Here's
smoking
a-
man.
here's a thing.
Cigarettes,
Alive.
yeah.
can I say something? Yeah. The cigarette smoking man is back, which is bizarre to me. But did you notice they had another guy who's also smoking a cigarette? So I guess he's passing on his
He's passing
his
the torch.
legacy.
Wasn't he dying some point?
He disappeared until
Right.
he was
I
dissolved.
thought he died in the series finale.
He did, but
I thought there were a few times that we thought he died anyway.
Oh my gosh! But this oh look, one of the lone gunmen who also died.
Oh yeah.
But
But a show
in the
like that, you can
X-Files-
change things. And flip
I think they
around and-
faked their
yeah.
deaths. I think they did fake their. Now look at this! Look how badass and Scully is getting here. I've never seen her slide and shoot. She's
Well, they have a stunt budget.
yep. Oh, look at that.
We know, you know why they're called the X-Files, right?
Why?
Because they were all under unsolved, but they ran out of room under U, so they had to put them under X. That's literally why they called the
Are you
X-Files.
serious?
Oh, wow.
That's the original
I have
explanation.
never heard that.
The original explanation.
So that is the trailer for the X-File called Hell on Earth, and it just makes me super excited. I know that we had talked about doing viewing parties for that.
Yeah.
So
After season 10, really? Really?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
why
still
you not
fun to
like it?
watch.
Hated season 10.
no, you're referring to
Tom has
Hey, can you get
opinions.
your
He
microphone up
certainly
close to your
does.
mouth? It's
Yeah. I just thought it was one of the worst pieces of
garbage.
excrement I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh, no.
I
They
see
had-
what he did there.
It was terrible.
I thought it was exciting.
Why don't you tell us how you really feel, Tom?
I know. Don't hold back.
The only way I would think about watching 11 is if Chris Carter had nothing to do with it. Because it was clear that he had no idea what to do with season 10. I mean, he squandered a perfectly good opportunity.
Here's the thing.
Wow.
Whenever
You're talking about okay.
not specifically about X-Files, but whenever you bring new content to a previous world, is that especially after there's been an absence, and this kind of gets into toxic fandom.
Yeah, let's go ahead into
But-
toxic fandom here.
People have run with it in their own fanfic brain, right? And so they've created what it's theirs now, right? In their mind, oh, it's mine, and I think this is what would have happened. But the creator has the right to come back and say, no, this is my vision. It's my world. It's not your world.
Yeah.
And that's their right. It is their literal intellectual property.
Even if they want to create excrement.
And look, like we can sit here and keep trashing the prequels, but that was Lucas's vision, right? That's the story he wanted to tell.
To a certain point. Yes.
And you
From
know,
a certain
while,
point of view.
From a
Uh,
certain point of view.
while I didn't love them, I also don't think that they're holistically garbage and
I
should
agree
be
with you
burned from the
100% on
records.
that.
There's
Yep.
some fun moments, and in those moments when I saw them in '99, et cetera, like I was happy to have Star Wars back.
Yep.
I was happy to have more content. I will
Right.
always take more content in almost any franchise. In fact, the only franchise that I think was actually literally ruined by its sequels is The Matrix. Should
Yeah.
never have been a
I
franchise.
agree.
Yep.
I can't get an audience to come see it at midnight. I won't show it because nobody ever cheers for it. And the original Matrix film was groundbreaking.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it
Shit
was.
It's
changed
really
the game.
fantastic.
Yeah,
But
it
the
did.
sequels are so bad, no one cares to see the original.
Bad to say I like both the sequels.
However, comma,
Speaking
Well, but that's pretty. I think that you have something and Tom has something.
Right.
I don't necessarily know if I go to like a midnight screening, but I think I have them at home.
Oh.
But
I would say that part of the problem is many times a franchise outgrows the person who created it. Star Trek is
Sure.
a prime example.
By the way, we are talking about toxic fandom here when fans are attacking each other online with these fans. They've kind of grown, like the fandoms have become like battlegrounds right now. It seems, and I think that's what we're addressing.
And
right
people
now.
like they treat you like they're better than you because they know some stupid technical piece of data about something, or they've been a fan longer than
in
you, and
episode
it should
number
be about
27 of
celebration.
second season,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Right.
I mean, the problem with X-Files is people forget the show had kind of, before the first movie came out, it had kind of hit its zenith. And when you
I
get to
agree.
seasons 8 and 9, there are some sparkling moments, but it really didn't. This current revival trend, with the exception of Will and Grace, which seems to be the only thing that actually is good. the
Oh, they
second
did
time
really
around.
good with that. Yeah.
But it seems like a lot of times it's the networks are so creatively bankrupt, they don't want to try to risk on something new and different.
Yeah.
So let's go back to something, well-worn. I'd love to see X-Files run by Darren Morgan, because
Who's that?
his episode was the bright spot of season 10 for me. And I just thought the rest was terrible.
Which one was his?
The weird one about the monster who thinks he's a man.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That
was
was
that
great.
was that was
That
That
was
was
great.
great. Yeah.
But the mythology episodes for season 10 didn't work.
I do agree. The
How
mythology
about you give it
episodes.
to the Stranger Things showrunner?
Okay, Stranger Things comes. Okay, we must talk about Stranger Things.
New trailer.
Oh, the new trailer was amazing.
See, this is.
I want to go into it cold
Yeah,
like I did
because
season
I
1.
didn't watch the trailer. Why would I watch a trailer when I know I'm gonna go watch it anyways?
Okay.
I don't, especially if it's soon. If it's like
Yep.
a trailer now for next year,
Yeah, but
okay.
it's next week.
I'm
Come
like,
on.
oh
That
wait.
anticipation is just part of the fun, though. Like, that gets me. Like, there have been times when I've gone online and watched a trailer for a movie just again when I was going to go see the movie that day, just because I wanted to watch the trailer again and get myself.
But then you
geared
can
up.
be ruined by bad advertising when it's the wrong
it
tone
can.
trailer, and
It
then the
can.
thing is not that, and then
However,
you're
How
waiting
often
for
does
it
that happen?
a lot.
However, it can also just get you in the right mindset.
So let's
to
steer this
enjoy it.
back to toxic fandom. Hey, Brie, I've got a question for you. So, did you hear about what happened with Rick and Morty and the McDonald's,
The Szechuan
the
sauce.
Szechuan sauce?
Yep,
There
I
was a
heard about it.
Can you
McDonald's.
The
tell us what
McDonald's
happened?
actually down the street from my house was one of the ones in the Los Angeles area that had Szechuan sauce available.
Mm-hmm.
And how long would you say the line was? babe.
Quarter mile.
Yeah, at least.
Seriously?
If not more. And they had 70 packets of sauce.
So what happened? What was the reason? So what happened was Szechuan sauce was on an episode of Rick and Morty, just a kind of a fleeting reference to it.
Because they had made it available in 1998 to help promote Mulan.
Mulan, yes.
And then the sauce disappeared after that movie came out. Maybe the sauce wasn't actually that great.
But
Rick thinks it was.
So now, since, everybody went, they showed up, and they all wanted the Szechuan sauce, and there was, like, a literal riot on Twitter, and everybody freaked out. But guess what? McDonald's was like, we hear you, we're going to bring it back.
Yeah.
We're sorry that we pissed off so many of you.
But the thing was, it wasn't even, people had, like you said, it was a riot. It was an absolute...
Seriously?
Yeah. Well, they were outside of the McDonald's chanting, "We want
sauce." And Ben and I are like, can we go back home? We just wanted to go get food. Like, we could see the line. Like, it was
we weren't even going to McDonald's.
And around the corner.
Yeah. By the way, for the record, the show was not involved in this promotion. McDonald's just decided to do it. Dan Harmon was not involved, and he had to get online and say, guys, leave McDonald's alone. Yeah, leave McDonald's alone.
And hello, McDonald's was good enough to acknowledge the attention they were getting to bring anything out at all.
Are you kidding? Anything to get people our age to go to McDonald's?
Well, I know, but also, like, before any of this happened, like, just shortly after that episode aired, somebody at McDonald's, somewhere in their corporate ladder, I don't know, got a big jug of it and sent that to Justin Roiland, just as a fun little happy gift. And it was funny, and it was cool that even happened at all. And so the fact that they were paying attention and wanting to put something out there is smart. Granted, it would have been smarter to release more at a time.
Yeah.
But to get angry because they don't have enough.
It actually kind of shows that they're literally just capitalizing on the dollar, and they didn't actually understand the Rick and Morty fandom and how big it could be.
I don't think people have realized how big the Rick and Morty fandom is.
No,
my students are trying to get
I wanted to talk about this, actually.
But it's like they clearly didn't partner with those guys, with Justin and Dan.
Mr. Producer.
Go for it, Anthony.
Oh, just to give you a magnitude of how large this show is, it actually beat out The Big Bang Theory to be the #1 comedy on television.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Yeah, and it is legit.
I knew it was the #1 show on the Cartoon Network now.
No, it's it's Adult Swim, but
Adult Swim,
owned by a Cartoon Network.
Right.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest shows on I think in America, probably around the world, because it's one of those that creates such a social dialogue just by wearing a shirt. You could go into the it's ridiculous.
I know this last year at San Diego Comic-Con, the first 2 seasons they showed at nighttime inside the park, inside of Petco Park, and that place was completely packed. And people didn't even know they were going to show it. It was kind of like announced last minute. But there was,
and the thing is, the show is whip smart and really messed up.
Do you know there's only? We've only
Dan Harmon, right?
Yeah.
Hello.
It is the most demented cartoon I have ever seen.
It's great.
But it's the smartest thing I think I've seen ever.
Yeah. But unfortunately, the demented side of it can bring out the worst in some fans when they think, "Oh, Rick's really cool because he's so smart and witty, and he doesn't care about anything, and he treats everybody like crap."
Nope. But like this year, we saw that Rick actually has issues, and he's trying to face those issues down.
Yeah.
But
it was handled brilliantly in the show.
The show is a brilliant show. Another fandom. Go ahead.
Never watched it.
Oh, Carrie, please watch it.
I haven't watched it yet.
Is there an after show for Rick and Buzz here?
Rick and
Buzz?
After Buzz.
After Buzz. So
Jim,
Rick and
have you
Morty.
ever seen the show?
There's an animation weekly something. And it's funny because
Let's start that.
I don't know what name it last was, but Blood and Guts with Scott Ian. We had an episode dealing with Rick and Morty.
It's such a good show. But that being said, Derek wrote an article.
But I know about Star Trek. I can talk about that.
We're going to talk about Star Trek in just a second. Derek wrote an article for us about the new Star Trek Discovery, and he talked about the things that he liked and the things he didn't like. But Derek is a genuine Star Trek fanatic. He loves it. So he's talking about it like he's one of the family. That show has started a basic civil war within the Star Trek universe as well, and a lot of it has
Get
nothing
me in
to
on
do.
some of that. I was at the premiere.
Oh, a lot of
in
it.
New York?
No, to the LA
the
premiere.
LA premiere.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw you there. Yeah. Have you heard about a lot of the protests?
Yeah, look.
And a lot of it is just downright viciously like racist stuff and
Sexist stuff.
Track
Sexist and
fandom,
everything.
unfortunately, can be a perfect example of toxic fandom.
Can we enlighten me? Because I have no idea what's going on.
Star Trek Discovery, the big deal when it first came out is
Yeah.
it had 2 female leads, one black, one Asian.
Oh, how dare they?
OMG.
Oh my gosh.
How
And then it
dare
was
we?
a female woman of color captain. It was like, whoa, freaking out.
Because that can
Where are
never
the white
happen.
guys?
And hello, in
Where
the
are
90s,
they?
we had Ben Sisko, who was a captain, who was black, and then we had Janeway, who was a woman. But
I
you don't
love
put those two
Janeway.
things together,
Yeah.
people get angry
They
again.
freaked out.
Yeah.
I love my Voyager.
And so,
I love Voyager
but
too.
if you
I'm
actually
rewatching it
watch
right
the
now.
show, that is not as big as a point as the show goes on. Trying not to spoil anything,
Right,
but
yeah, good one.
it's not
Yeah.
as big of a thing.
Right.
But it's funny that everyone was so up in arms about it, and you're like, come on. I'm on
Even
this.
Here's the thing.
Even before
Yeah.
they'd seen the show.
Well, of course not.
Yeah. Well, it's like
You
most
must
things.
attack what you haven't
Yeah.
seen.
You freak out about the advertisement. You freak out about the trailer, and you're like, you haven't watched it yet.
It also
what?
comes. It comes back to the point about how when you bring out new content after there's been a big break and people
Yeah.
took things in a way they wanted to take them, and it's like they write off the J.J. Abrams stuff as the Kelvin universe where it's like a different time, right? But this is going back into the prime timeline.
It's a
Kind
prequel.
of.
Supposedly.
It's sort of in the prime.
Well, but the visuals are very Abrams Kelvin
Yes.
timeline.
Yes. Correct.
But that's just modern technology. And the namby-pamby ass Trek fans that are whining that the ships look like they're too technologically advanced to be pre-Kirk and Spock in the prime timeline. You take your unrealistic expectations, and can I swear on the show?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys can just fuck right off because you're assholes.
We only get 2 of those.
Okay, cool. I use them up.
a
But
late night
seriously,
show.
you expect that a show made in 2017 is not going to look more technologically advanced than freaking little kids' models in
Yeah, in
1966?
I want
Come
my
on.
models on
I want
fish
to
lines.
tag in from Brother Bernie.
Right.
I'm totally with you.
Devon and Bubba Ray right here? Yeah.
I don't know.
Here's the thing. I was on a friend's podcast yesterday. Episode 4 of Star Trek: The Next Generation was Code of Honor, which Jonathan Frakes refers to as a racist piece of shit.
What?
You shall have no vaccine and no Lieutenant Yar, the planet of the black people who lust after the white women. It's a terrible episode. Terrible, terrible episode. Episode 4 of Discovery, which was last week's episode, it was a decent episode. You know, we find out that
The thing.
we find out the thing
Yeah.
about the thing with
Yeah.
the ship, and people are complaining.
love
It's
there's no
like
spoilers,
none
yeah.
of the new Star Trek shows, possibly with the exception of Deep Space Nine, none of them launched out of the gate fully formed.
Yeah.
This show looks terrific. I love the cast. I have issues with some of the designs, but I can forgive that. But here's the thing. Oh, people were, I have a podcast where I dissect and trash each episode. Dude, if you don't like the show, don't watch it. I
Right?
didn't like X-Files season
That
10.
shit is toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just remember,
I'm on
Voyager
the-
did not catch its stride until 7 of 9 joined
Yeah.
the crew, in my opinion. And that was season 2, wasn't it?
No, season 4.
Yeah,
Season 4.
It was season 4.
Seven of
We
nine.
have an
It's
after show for
the
Star Trek
Seinfeld
Discovery
season.
here.
Season
you do?
4.
Yes.
What'd you say? I'm sorry?
We have a Star Trek Discovery after show here, and I'm on that. And I'm coming from the place of I watched most of the movies from the 90s onward and episodes here and there. So I am not the hardcore Trekkie. But I would hope.
You're their perfect target
Right.
audience.
And then people are upset that you don't know all that stuff. And I'm like, I would hope they made this show getting new people in it.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 other hosts here at AfterBuzz. They're on it. Both those men, so they're both guys, and white. Not that terribly
What?
matters, but
Where the brothers at?
right, I know. And then
They're all in this room.
but they're big Trekkies, and then one of them, their main complaint was they didn't like that it was a prequel. Like, it'd be better to go in the future because then it's so hard to make things line up with the timeline. But then he finally has gotten to a point where he's like, oh, I feel like a broken record. I'm like, okay, so just go with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me, a viewer. Like, yes, they connected to the previous stuff, but it doesn't matter.
But you know what? I loved Derek's article on our site because Derek is one of those super fans. But yet you point out the things that were bugging you about it.
Yeah.
Some of it that you would
And all those
argue with
things-
Bernie
all
with.
those things that bug me, I can get used to. Like, of course, it's going to look better because this is 2017.
Let's hope so.
Yes.
The only things that would bug me would be like in the world
If you
of
want
the
to
show.
trash the Klingons, I'm with you.
Yeah, and see, like,
Well, technically
at
with
the
the
same
Klingon-
time,
okay, wait.
with the Klingons,
wait.
you've got a whole planet of a species that you're going to have. You might have
Yes.
different ethnicities and have people looking differently. You might have explanations.
There's different
Oh,
tribes.
okay,
Giving
I
them
guess I'm
time,
kinda okay
it
with
might
that.
show up differently.
I mean, mildly better than the
Klingons had a
Into
white
Darkness
savior
Klingons.
thing as soon as the
Oh,
albino.
really?
Well, it's an
See,
albino
I haven't kept up with the show.
Klingon.
Like,
I don't know if you could, there's an albino
I did see
Klingon
that.
who's
Yeah, that
gonna
was in the first
save
one.
all of
That
them,
was-
and you're like,
Oh, the
That was
white
strange.
Klingons saved the black brothers from themselves.
but let's also remember
I've never heard of that.
these racists are
Oh
the
my
villains right now. I mean, they're the antagonists, so maybe they're the ones who have to learn a lesson along the way.
Remember in the original
That's
Star
crazy
Trek
talk.
series where the Klingons were just black people?
They weren't.
No, they were white people with brown face.
They were white people with brown face with a slight
with goatees.
with a slight
with
Asian
pointy eyebrows.
The
And
clean ones
goatees.
on this one, I haven't looked
So
up
much
the
better.
people, but I feel they're a mix of people. Like, I can't quite tell.
They have different complexions.
I'm just gonna tell you, Uhura was
but
still the
it is
sexiest woman on
albino
that ship.
one that I'm like, oh.
Michelle Nichols.
I like the show though. I will say I'm enjoying
I'm
it.
with you, sister.
It's
Yep.
getting better, and
'Cause you-
How
it's
about,
exciting.
How about
Great
I wrote my
acting on that
doctoral
show.
thesis
Yeah.
on Star Trek Next Generation,
Yes,
so
listen.
I'm literally Dr.
okay.
Trek.
He's Dr. Trek.
But there was a great quiet moment at the end of last night's episode with Anthony Rapp and
Have you
Cruz
seen it?
Wilson.
I was like, wait, last night?
I'm sorry, Anthony
Yeah,
Rapp
no,
is on
Sunday
this
we
show?
went.
Yes.
What?
And Jason
plays-
Isaacs.
He,
I know. And Doug
Anthony
Jones.
Rapp
I
is
saw,
the
and Doug
engineer.
Jones
Doug
is on
Jones.
there.
Doug
Yes.
Jones.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot
Yeah.
that.
Nerd alert.
How can you
Okay.
forget? He's killing it.
I forgot
He's
he was
so
in the
good.
show. I've been
Yeah.
Last
watching.
night's episode?
There's I'm like,
Well, we've got
I
something else on
think
the
so.
roster, babe.
We're
We got
one
30
behind.
seconds, guys.
Okay.
30
But anyway.
seconds.
There's a great
Until we move on.
There's a great moment between Anthony Rapp and Cruz Wilson, who plays his companion.
Mm-hmm.
They're brushing their teeth, and it's a quiet human moment, and it was wonderful. And that was what some people were lobbying for TNG, to have a first openly gay crew member. But it was just a matter of fact. They haven't made a big deal about it. He just
FYI,
happens
Orville
to
did
be-
it first.
Well, yeah, regardless, it's a cool show. If you've never seen Star Trek, you'll like it. And if you have watched it, just keep an open mind, because some things are a little bit different, but just be quiet and watch
Or
it.
watch your Blu-rays and DVDs.
And
And-
watch
Yeah.
your after show.
And watch our after
Yes,
show.
watch
It's
Carrie's
Sunday
after show.
nights at 10 p.m. There we go.
And one more thought that we need to point out with this. Okay, Star Trek fans of all people should not be the toxic ones who are divisive,
Yes,
because Star
seriously.
Trek is all about hearing different points of view
Inclusive.
and including different people and being
We come in
diplomatic
peace.
and understanding different cultures and viewpoints, and then coming to all help each other be better.
Preach it.
So,
Yeah.
Star Trek fans, stop it. Learn to be nice.
I know. Like the thing is, this toxic fandom is just. I think it's destroying parts of fandom. People are afraid.
It really is.
Oh, people are just really getting upset.
Granted, in some cases, it might be a very small minority that's just really, really vocal.
Bernie,
Hi.
we are gonna move. By the way, stop being so mean. Can't we all just get along? Bernie. All right, we don't have a ton of time, but we do have to talk about Stan Lee's LA Comic-Con. Tell
Yes,
us what
we
you've
do.
got planned coming up.
Oh my God! Well, so you guys saw the guest announcements. There's some amazing guests. The Rock
Dwayne
is going to
Johnson.
be there.
The Rock. They're
the
doing
Black
a-
Eyed Peas are going to be there.
A tribute to Quantum Leap.
Yes,
Great.
Scott
I saw
Bakula.
that.
I
Rosario?
as soon as we're done with this and I call Regina, I want the Q&A of Scott Bakula. Anyway,
We're doing the reunion of the cast of Sabrina the Teenage
Yep.
Witch.
Pee Wee Herman.
Nice.
Women Who Kick Ass is being hosted by Katie,
Katie
Sackhoff.
Sackhoff.
I'm
Oh.
so excited about
That's
that.
so perfect.
All right, and a whole lot of other people are going to be showing up. They're expecting around 125,000 people. They have
Wow.
Seriously?
They have partnered with Entertainment Weekly. This is a giant
So
convention.
they
Yeah.
were
You know,
they were
last-
in the mid 90,000s last year.
I was going to say, I
and
remember like the second or third year. It was a lot smaller.
Anyone remember the basement year? The basement of
Oh, yeah.
the
first
parking
year.
lot of Kensha Hall.
Yeah.
I
That was
came
their
after
first
that
year.
one.
For sure.
Yeah.
Last year, Entertainment Weekly had their own little thing the same weekend
I
as
know.
Stanley's LA Comic-Con.
I remember
Yeah.
that. That was such a.
And they got crushed, so now they partnered up.
Yeah, it's
no,
like-
that's
Can't beat them, join them.
But
Yeah.
well, but this now you're seeing the dividends being paid for the name change, and everyone whined, "Oh, LA Comic Con instead of Kamikaze."
Yep.
Like, this is why. That's why you do that.
Yep.
And
Branding.
It'll
the
always
stars
be
are coming out.
kamikaze.
So
in
I
my
know, I'm
heart.
always telling
Right now,
Kamikaze.
we are seeing a graphic Club Comic-Con.
Club Comic Con is my Friday night party for Los Angeles Comic Con. It will be at the Globe Theater, which is a vaudeville theater built in 1913 in downtown
Nice.
LA that's been revamped into a European-style nightclub. It still has all the original molding, the marble entryway, and everything's gorgeous. Opera boxes that used to belong to Marilyn Monroe and Charlie Chaplin back in Broadway's heyday.
Let's go.
And so we're going to party there, and it's going to be kind of a 90s vampire-themed Halloween party. We are going to have a damn good shindig in the downstairs basement. Are creating a Buffy Demons lair, Buffy Villains lair down there. I'm waiting for final confirmation, but we should have some talent from Buffy the Vampire Slayer there. And our featured DJ of the night is Jackson Rathbone, Jasper from Twilight. And FYI,
Nice.
if we do
Yay.
confirm the Buffy talent, just know I'm having the Buffy people introduce the Twilight guy, because
Oh, just too much.
Why
Right.
not?
Please do it.
you can't not do that, right? We also have an incredible 90s tribute band, Hit Me 90s. I'm really excited to bring them up to the show. You guys have got to see them. They play all of that 4-chord harmony stuff we love. And then I'm really excited because we have a lot of great female talent. It's kind of going to be ladies' night. We've got the Curvy Cosplay Quartet performing. We've got Hit Me 90s has a lady lead singer, Mara, who dresses like Britney Spears. She's incredible. And we've also got DJ Bubble Wrap, an awesome lady DJ, up on stage too.
Bubble Wrap's rad. I met her at the last one.
Yes, fantastic.
How do you
great
get
house
tickets?
DJ. You go to www.clubcomiccon.com or just search on Facebook for Club Comic Con and LA Comic Con, and you'll see the event.
And we'll put that link up on our site as well. But you
And
also
then
have a
there's-
second night.
There's a Saturday after party as well. Now, the big announcement about it is going to happen tomorrow, from what I'm told. So I can't talk about it.
He
yet.
was showing us tonight, and it's pretty darn big.
I'm just gonna say that if you've been following online, you can probably figure it out. But we're gonna have the biggest talent we've ever had at this show. It's a show I created 4 years ago for LA Comic Con, and it's gonna be very, very different. It's been very variety show the last few years. We've had it anchored by the Flux Capacitors, who are incredible,
I love that
incredible guys. This year we're gonna have something totally different. And so a couple years ago we had Run DMC perform. This is gonna be bigger than that.
Bigger than Run DMC.
So
That's a tease.
and then it's going to be an incredible musical talent. It's going to be on stage, and
now
that
this is
musical talent's going to bring some other musically talented friends.
Really big.
And I can't say anything more than that. It is a free party. But you have to line up at the con during the day on Saturday to get a wristband, and priority will go to 3-day badge holders. And let me tell you, that show is worth the convention 3-day badge price in and of itself. And you're getting that for free. For free. But you also are going to want to line up early, because we're going to give out maybe about 3,500 wristbands for 2,500 spaces. That way, anytime someone leaves, we get more people in.
Yep.
Don't want anyone to miss out, but that's just what you got to do. It's limited space.
And
But
where is this one at?
this one's at the Novo in LA Live.
I'm going to spoil it right now. Buddy Holly. Buddy Holly's playing with the Big Bopper.
So is everybody here
Richie
going to
Valens,
LA
too?
Comic Con? Are you going?
Yes, at least some. I mean, I need to take some of the
Aaliyah?
weekend to watch
She
some Stranger
joining?
Things, but
Yeah. Bree, you going?
Yeah, I guess.
And we don't have a lot of information. They just dropped their schedule today. So if you go to the LA Comic Con page, they just dropped their schedule. I was about to grouse about it. I was like, we're 2 weeks out and there's no schedule. But I guess that's just normal. Usually 2 weeks out is when you drop the schedule. And they have a whole lot of good stuff that's happening. Some of the cool things. Brad, if you're watching, they're having the He-Man 35th anniversary reunion with the voice talent from that show, which is going to be kind of cool.
Bill Paxton tribute.
Bill Paxton tribute is going to be pretty cool. I know. I'm really going to. That's going to be kind of
Game
sad.
over, man.
They're having the Star Wars Dysfunctional Family panel, which I think is amazing.
That's great.
Star Wars Fanatics kind of goes into our toxic fandom we were just talking about. Hopefully, there's no civil war going to be declared there. The art of horror hosting. I don't know if you guys remember horror hosting. Are you familiar? Me and Tom, we probably know horror hosting. You know, back in the day when they had these stupid movies come on at nighttime, the creature features. And
It's the creature.
well, like Elvira, she's the
Elvira,
most
Mistress of
famous
the Dark.
horror host. Anyways, they're going to have a panel on horror hosting, which I think is pretty cool.
They also, so everyone, there's going to be a great cosplay contest, which I'm hosting. But other cons do that. But they also are doing a prop contest specifically for people that are just builders that don't maybe have the sewing skills,
that's
but
new.
can make crazy, awesome big swords and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool that they make that distinction and make it a little more inclusive that way. They're also going to have on Friday night an incredible geek fashion show, Le Geek So Chic fashion show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that prop builder contest. I've never heard of that before. That's pretty cool because a lot of times you have to leave your props at the door.
You know, I wanted to say something real quick. Bree and I were talking about it this year, and we didn't really plan any cosplays for LA Comic Con this year.
What?
But babe, I just thought of it. We do have a cosplay planned. You remember our Amazon Prime cosplay?
Yes.
So there's been a thing, speaking of toxic fandoms-ish, in the cosplay community, broader, there has been a certain sect that has been a bit vocal about being judgmental of other people about getting Prime cosplays or Amazon Prime
Costume in a
cosplays.
bag.
Yep.
Or they just
like
bought a bunch of
purchasing it?
or
Well, basically going on Amazon and looking for pieces that work for the outfit that you want, not necessarily getting a costume, but going, okay, so this bodysuit works for this accessory works. A lot of people are like, oh, yeah, that's totally an Amazon Prime cosplay.
instead of sewing it yourself or building it
Oh,
yourself.
please.
I don't
guys
own
are
a
gonna
sewing
go with
machine.
boxes and
I
Lego?
get on Amazon Prime and
Well,
get things.
Well,
It just
Carrie, and you
becomes
also
meat
do.
gross.
You kind of do like what do you call it?
I do it closet cosplay.
Closet,
Like,
yeah.
what do I have?
Yeah.
And go to the thrift store. It's the same idea. You're just
Right.
buying
Yeah.
it online, which that's totally fine. I think that's almost more creative because you're like, what can I piece together?
Yeah.
Because not everybody can sew. That takes time and talent, and I applaud those people.
I do applaud
I
those
don't
people.
like buying it just though if you buy it in a bag and it looks cheesy.
That's mine.
Some of those are good though.
And it's just
And
cheesy
some of those are
But-
fun when you just want to do that.
I mean,
You know?
I bought my sexy Jon Snow costume, and I'll say it's pretty darn good.
Sexy Jon Snow.
It's a thing,
All
it
right.
exists, and it's fantastic.
Isn't that
right.
redundant?
Folks, we have got to wrap up the show. We just got that. We have got to wrap up the show. Is there anything that we're missing about LA Comic Con that, Carrie, real quick, parking?
I'm not gonna share my parking.
Don't
ticket.
share yours, but what's your
It's
advice on
called
parking?
Uber.
Yeah.
No,
Lyft.
there's free parking nearby. You just got to be willing to walk and go early.
Yep.
I'll just tell you that.
She is the
Lyft.
queen of free parking.
Never
but,
paid for parking down there.
I have never paid less than $25 for parking down there. I know, I'm terrible.
I've never driven around for 45 minutes looking for a parking space.
Oh, I have.
Except for like last year.
All right, is there anything that we are missing about LA Comic Con? We will be having all kinds of updates, the schedule, our picks for the schedule, everything this next couple of weeks as we head into LA Comic Con. It's going to be a blast. Again, it's going to be one of the largest Comic Cons on the West Coast. I think
It's
120
actually at those numbers, it's going to be top 10 for sure, and maybe top 5 in the country at this
Yep.
point.
I mean, it just grew.
It's the fastest
so
growing
fast.
one in the country.
Yeah, these guys really know what they're doing. I think they really know what they're
Great partnerships.
doing. Plus,
really
Stan Lee's there.
Great inclusive programming.
he's everywhere these
There's
days.
going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of LGBTQ panels and stuff like that. So yeah, they definitely it's a con for everyone. Everyone can be proud of that, and it's LA's Comic Con.
It is LA's Comic Con, yeah.
yeah.
So
San Diego ain't giving up the big one.
I am really excited that. Speaking of which, we got to end. But do you know that the professional passes were registration for San Diego Comic Con was this past week?
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew it. 5 months in advance. Did you know about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got mine.
I got my registration in, but I don't think I got my pro badge for next year. But Bree and I pretty much talked about not going to San Diego.
Get out of here! Blasphemy! Blasphemy!
A
No.
lot of people are going that direction.
Why?
It's too expensive,
Yeah.
and it's too ridiculous, and there's no guarantee of a place where we're going to sleep. Plus, we're saving money for a reason.
Yeah, we're saving money for other reasons. So.
Oh!
Ooh, is there a big announcement?
They're gonna buy a big TV. All right, we've got to
Spend a
wrap
lot of
up.
money on their car insurance.
All right. So
They
thank you
switched to
guys
Geico?
for joining us tonight. We have so much more to talk about, but we've just run out of time, and it's late, and you guys got to go to bed, and so do we. So please subscribe to the show here. TheConGuy.com is the website, and subscribe to the Con Guy Comic Con Prep Show here on the Popcorn Talk Network. You can find me at Con Guy Jim. Where can we find everybody else?
You can find me on Twitter at ConGuyDerek.
And you can find me on
Music.
you can find me online at Carrie D Lane.
You can find me on all sorts of social media at Ben Kliewer, BenKliewer, or search the hashtag BK421.
I'm on the Instagrams at Tinker_Bree with 1 E.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Nerds Like Us and at the Geek Gatsby. By the way, this week TwitchCon and in 3 weeks BlizzCon. See you there.
And you can find me at TomDaveLA on Twitter, THOMDAVELA.
Next time I want to hear about your football and nerds podcast you do. I wanted to talk about that, but we'll have to talk about that next time. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. By the way, $20,000 in prize money being given away at LA Comic Con for cosplay competition.
Thanks to Cosmunity, yo.
Cosmunity, thanks a
It's
lot.
ours, Jim.
All right, out, guys.
We'll come up with a costume really quickly and throw it together.
See you next time. I'll just buy it.
This is Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Spitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network. We would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.